Hi, everybody, and welcome back to the Baseball Replay Journal for another one of our 1949 games. We got the Red Sox at the Yankees here, and as you can see, I've done a little bit of fiddling around with Boston's lineup because it is May 1st. It's also the first of the week, I guess. Is this a Sunday or a Monday? I can't remember which one it is. I'm pretty sure, actually, this is a Sunday in 1949. Anyway, I figured the first of each week I'll take another look at the lineups and make a couple of changes as needs be, which is why you're seeing Dom DiMaggio, who's hitting 500 and leading both leagues, hitting in the leadoff spot. He comes up here now against Eddie Lopad, takes outside for a ball. Lopad back in there with a screwball, which is what he was known for, and there's another swing and a miss by DiMaggio, 1-2 the count. There's a little ground ball over to Jerry Coleman, grabs it over at second base, throws it to Henrik at first for the out, one away, and here is Ted Williams, hitting .413 this season. 1-1 now the count on Ted, and takes a ball, 2-1 now the count. Now, of course, the reason why we want Ted hitting in front of Stevens is because this has worked so far for us, but Ted Williams unfortunately hits a ground ball to Rizzuto at shortstop. Scooter grabs it, throws over to Henrik at first for the out. There's two away. Here is Vern Stevens, takes the pitch outside, and then there's a little chopper over to Brown at third, and Bobby's got that easily, throws over to first base for the out, and that does it. We go to the bottom of the first inning just like that. Here is Scooter, takes one up high for a strike, and he gets into one deep to left field, and Williams goes back and gets it, and there's one away. Here's Henrik, and there's a fastball around the knees. That's a ball, 1-0 now the count, and that one's hit foul on the left field line, 1-1 now. And there's one skied over to Dom DiMaggio in center field for the out, two away, and here's Cliff Mapes. There's one out the outside corner, 0-1 the count. There's a little ground ball over to Dura. Second base makes the play over to first easily, and we go to the top of the second, and it's Johnny Pesky now. Johnny Pesky takes one outside for a ball, 1-0 now, fouls one off. It's a 1-1 count. There's a foul ball, 1-2 now, and there's a little ground ball over to Henrik at first. He does it himself for one out, and here's Tommy O'Brien, who fouls one off, 0-1 now. And there's one off the plate, 1-1 now the count, and takes another ball, 2-1. There's a pitch for a strike, 2-2 now the count. There's a little ground ball over to Rizzuto at short, makes the play, throws over to first base for the out, two away. And here is Matt Batts, one of our heroes, one of the great blog heroes of 1949. 1-2 now the count on Batts. And there's a little ground ball over to Brown, and he makes the play to first base for the out. We go to the bottom of the second inning. This one's going by quickly. Here's Old Faithful. Woodling's up there, takes a ball and swings and misses. There's 1-1 count on Woodling, takes another ball, 2-1 the count. There's a ground ball over to Stevens at short, and it's a good play over to first to Hitchcock for the out. And here comes Jerry Coleman. Coleman with the 10-game hitting streak fouls one off and fouls another one off. 0-2 now the pitch on Coleman. That's inside, 1-2 now. And that's above the letters, 2-2. And there's one up high, and that will be a full count now to Jerry. And he fouls one off, still a full count on Coleman. And there's ball four, and that's your first base runner of the game, Jerry Coleman. And with Hank Bauer up there, I'm thinking, do we do hit and run or not? Hank Bauer, 4 home runs. Hit only 10 in real life, 4 home runs here and 49 at bats, hitting well so far in this replay, and he has one over to Dom DiMaggio in center field, and you can forget about that hit and run. Yogi Berra up there now, and there's a ball to him. Throw to first base, nothing doing. There's another one low and outside. Now we'll call that hit and run, 2-0 now. There's a little pop fly, and that's foul. 2-1 now, that's inside on Berra for ball 3. And Berra chases a fastball. Should have told him to take that one. Full count now on Yogi. And that's a bit outside, and Yogi gets the walk, and that means there are 2 on now for Bobby Brown. You got to wonder if that wasn't an intentional, unintentional walk. There's a strike to Brown, and one high and outside. 1-1 now the count on Bobby, and he swings and misses for strike 2. Hits one over to Doerr, and he makes the play at first base for the out, and that does it. So nothing happening there for the Yankees aside from the 2 walks. Here's Bobby Doerr now, leading off for Boston, takes the ball. And there's a strike to him, 1-1 now the count, and there's a ball again, 2-1 now is the count on Bobby. 2-2 now as he takes another strike, and there's a little flare out that Rizzuto catches, a little pop-up out on the outfield grass for the first out, and here's Billy Hitchcock. And he takes a ball from Eddie Lopad, and there's a little ground ball over to Henrik at first base, and he flips it over to Lopad, who makes the play, and Hitchcock winds up tripping over the bag on his way there to first base, but looks like he's going to be okay. Mickey Harris now up there takes a strike, and another strike. 0-2 quickly on Harris. There's a little base hit over looping fly ball over to center field. Mapes can't quite get to it, and the pitcher gets the first base hit of the game, the Red Sox pitcher. Here's Dom DiMaggio, Mr. Base Hit, and it's a 2-1 count now on Dom. And 2-2 now as that one is in there. And there's a liner that goes for the hole, and Jerry Coleman's able to grab that one and cut it off. And we go to the bottom of the third inning. Nothing, no score in this one. You knew that it was going to be one of these games as Eddie Lopat's in there and with a 1-1 count on him. Every time it's the Red Sox and the Yankees, it's something like this. And Lopat gets a base hit. So the only two hitters with base hits in this one have been the pitchers for both sides. I'm not sure that I expected that to happen. Both pitchers wind up with base hits here by the third inning. Everybody else is held in check. Phil Rizzuto up there now takes a strike, and there's a ball to him. 1-1 now the count. And there's a line drive over the head of Stevens for a base hit. And Lopat, we're just going to play safe with. There's no reason for us to send him to third base in this moment, especially since Ted Williams is just right there. Tommy Henrich now, not a good bunter. And, of course, it would be kind of foolish to bunt with him. We'll just swing away, see what happens. Here is Henrich, and there is a wild pitch, and that's, it is early in this one, but that it has the potential to be a key play in this game, even this early. A wild pitch being thrown by pitcher Mickey Harris. Harris, not exactly pitching superbly so far this season, has kind of been bailed out in his previous starts by having this great Red Sox offense. We'll see what happens. We'll see if this if he ends up getting out of it or not. But you got to really kind of wonder about what's happened here so far in the bottom of the third inning. 2 straight base hits and then that wild pitch. Henrik's still up there now with first base open. Ball 2 on him. And Cliff Mapes is on deck, and they miss again with ball 3. We're going to have him take this pitch. There's the fastball strike. We'll have him take one more. And Henrich takes ball 4, and that will bring up Cliff Mapes here in a clutch situation here in the bottom of the third inning with the bases loaded and nobody out. And, if you look at this season on paper, if you're not thinking about what's happening in the replay, you're just thinking, all I care about is what the averages were in real life. You look at Cliff Mapes and you'd say, well, what do we have to be scared of, right? He had 247, a little bit of power, 378 slugging percentage, but not that much, only 7 home runs. Well, he has 3 home runs so far in this replay. He's hitting 333. He has driven in 8 runs already, and he's been really a powerhouse for these Yankees. And Mapes takes a breaking ball high, 1-0 the count. And there's a strike to him, 1-1 now on Mapes, and curveball stays up, 2-1 is the count. There's a changeup that misses, and that's ball 3, and we're going to take another pitch here. And there's ball 4 upstairs, and Cliff Mapes gets the walk and gets the RBI. And this is not looking very good for Mickey Harris, who's completely fallen apart so far in this game. And he went from potentially throwing a no-hitter to walking in the first run of the ball game. And this might not end so well for him. The 49 New York Yankees are not exactly murderers row, but this is not a team that will treat you kindly if you walk everybody. Woodling walks. There's a strike there. 0-1 the count on him. There's a ball to him, 1-1. And there's a little ground ball over to the mound, and they go to the plate for 1 and over to first base for 2. One of those 1-2-3 double plays, and that helps a little bit. But that brings up Jerry Coleman here now. Coleman, sitting on that 10-game hitting streak, takes a ball low. There's a fastball high, another ball, 2-0 the count. And there's one launched deep to right center field, but Dom DiMaggio's got a beat on it, and he goes back and gets it. We go to the top of the 4th. 1-0 Yankees on that walk, and Lopat misses to Ted Williams, 1-0, and it's 2-0 now the count on the splendid splinter, 2-1 now. And there's ball 3, and Williams with that good eye watches that. And there's ball 4 by Eddie Lopat, and Williams is on first base, and you want to walk him, not with Vern Stevens up there. 0-1 now the count on Stevens. 0-2 now as that was fouled back. There's a ground ball over to Henrich at first, goes over to Rizzuto at second for 1, back to Henrich for the double play, 2 outs on that one pitch. And here is Pesky, and the count on Pesky now is 1-1. Screwball in there for a ball, 2-1. And there's one high, 3-1 now the count on Johnny. Fouls one off, 3-2 now, full count on him. And that one's hit to left field. Woodling goes back, grabs that one, and that's it. Bottom of the 4th inning, and here is Hank Bauer. Bauer swings and fouls one off. 0-1 now the count on Hank, and he grounds one over to Doerr, who grabs it over at second base. Throws the first for the out, 1 away. Yogi Berra now takes a curveball for a strike. 0-1 the count on him, and he hits one over to O'Brien in right field for the second out. And here comes Bobby Brown. Lines one to Doerr at second base for the out, and we go to the top of the 5th. Still 1-0 Yankees. And Tommy O'Brien there takes a ball and fouls one off. 1-1 now the count on him. Another one fouled off. It's 1-2. There's one that misses. 2-2 now the count. There's a breaking ball in the belt there against O'Brien. Sorry for strike 3. And here comes Matt Batts. He fouls one back. 0-1 the count on Batts and takes one away. 1-1. There's one high, 2-1 now on him. There's a ground ball over to right behind the bag. Rizzuto grabs it, throws to first base for the out, 2 away, and here comes Bobby Doerr. And there is a line drive that goes over the glove of Rizzuto and winds up being a double for Bobby, and that brings up Billy Hitchcock now, still 1-0 the score. There's a screwball to him for a strike, and there's a ground ball over to Rizzuto, grabs it, throws over to first base for the out, and that does it. We go to the bottom of the 5th, and here's Eddie Lopat. And there's a strike to Lopat right off the bat. 0-1 now the count on him. There's one high, 1-1. And there's a swinging strike 2, 1-2 the count. And there's a called strike 3 from Harris. So Harris has walked 4, struck out 1 in this one. And that brings up Phil Rizzuto. He takes the ball, 1-0 the count. There's a little pop-up. Bat's running for it, can't quite get it. And then Rizzuto takes another one for a ball, 2-1 now the count on him. And he pops one up, and Doerr's got that one for the out, 2 away. And here's Tommy Henrich. Old reliable up there, and he fouls one off deep to right field, but foul, and takes a ball. 1-1 now the count on him. And there's one that's inside, 2-1, and swings and misses at that. 2-2 now the count. And there's a line drive over to Hitchcock that's caught, snagged out of the air by the first baseman, and we go to the top of the 6th inning now. Harris up there. Interesting that they're leaving Harris in. Only 2 hits, though, in this one that he's given up. So despite the 4 walks, 1-2 now the count on Mickey, and it's 2-2 now. Mickey Harris had the Red Sox first hit of the game and one of their only 2 hits, and he pops one up over to Henrich, who makes the catch on the pop-up for 1 away. Here's Dom DiMaggio hitting 481, but nothing so far today. 1-1 the count on him. And there's a little roller over to Coleman to the right side, and he makes a play at first base for the out. There's 2 away. Here's Ted Williams hitting 404. He takes a ball, 1-0 the count on him, and there's a changeup for another ball, 2-0, and Lopat misses again, 3-0. And that one's low, and Williams gets his second walk of the game, and they want to deal with Vern Stevens instead. And he throws a ball to Vern, 1-0 the count. There's a ground ball over to Rizzuto. Rizzuto grabs it, just like a vacuum cleaner, throws over to first base for the out. That does it. We go to the bottom of the 6th, and here is Cliff Mapes. This has been fast, and Mapes takes the ball. And there's a curveball in there for a strike. 1-1 now the count on Mapes, and there's a ball to him, 2-1. And there's ball 3 inside, and he hits one out of play. Full count now on Mapes. He swings and foul tips that catcher can't catch. Can't hold on, though. And there's one smashed over to Doerr at second base, who grabs that one out of the air for the out, 1 away. And here's Gene Woodling. Woodling lays off one outside, 1-0 the count, and 1-1 now on Woodling. And there's one high, 2-1 now is the count. 2-2 now on Woodling. And that curveball's high, full count now on him. And there's a swing and a miss on strike 3. And so Harris gets strikeout number 2 of this game. And here's Jerry Coleman takes a ball, another ball in close. And there's one lined over to Doerr at second base who makes the play. We go to the top of the 7th. Nothing happening in this one. Johnny Pesky up there now takes a ball low and swings and fouls one off. 1-1 now the count. And there's a screwball inside, 2-1 on Johnny. He pops one up and over to the left side. Bobby Brown's under it, makes the play, 1 out. Here's Tommy O'Brien. And there's a swing and one over to left center field, and that one bounces in there, and O'Brien has a double not leading off with 1 out here in the top of the 7th inning. And now we are getting into the potential real exciting point of this ball game. O'Brien here on second base with Matt Batts coming up. And it's still only a 1-0 lead for the Yankees, who've not been able to take advantage of the moments of wildness that Harris has had. And we're going to pitch to Batts, and let's see what happens. There's a ground ball to Rizzuto, and he throws over to first for the out, 2 away, and that brings up Bobby Doerr. He takes a strike, 0-1 the count. There's one off the plate, 1-1, and a little foul ball, 1-2 now the count on Bobby. That's low and away, 2-2. There's ball 3 off the edge of the plate, and there is a great catch out there by Hank Bauer in right field, a lunging backhanded catch to end the inning. And that's one of those plays that is descriptive but goes by very quickly, and you could probably be forgiven for missing that one if you're going through this game fast, but they don't all wind up like that. Bottom of the 7th inning now, and here's Hank Bauer takes the ball, And 1-0 rather is the count. Now it's 1-1 as he takes a strike, and it's 2-1 now on him. And 2-2 now. Bat's able to frame that one right. Now it's a full count on Hank. And that one is a walk. That's a ball outside. And Harris has given up his 5th walk of the game. You got to wonder how much longer they're going to stay with him. Here's Yogi Berra. And there's a ball outside to Yogi and one low. 2-0 now the count. Another pitch misses, and it's a 3-0 count. We're going to have Yogi take this one. And there's ball 4 to Berra, and there are 2 men on now for Bobby Brown. And Brown lays off the fastball, 1-0 the count, and he chases one outside, 1-1. There's one right down Broadway, 1-2 now the count, and that one's off the outside of the plate, 2-2. And Brown fouls one off, still 2-2, and takes one that's just off the plate. Now fouls another one off, swings and misses, and Harris picks up the strikeout. Strikeout number 3 for Harris today, number 4 for the season against his 6 walks today and 7 walks for the season. Here's Eddie Lopat, runners on first and second. And there's a foul ball by Lopat, 0-1 the count. Strike right down the heart of the plate, 0-2. And that one's inside for ball 1-2 now. And he swings, drives one back to right center field. Over there, the right fielder, Brian Hazard, makes the play. Hank Bauer able to tag up and take third on that, albeit with 2 outs. And here comes the Scooter now with a chance to really put the Yankees ahead. Takes a strike, 0-1 the count on him. There's a little ground ball over to Stevens, flips it over to Dora at second base for the out. We go to the top of the 8th inning, still 1-0 Yankees. Yankees have not had any hits in this one, only 2 hits for New York in this game. They've had men aboard because of walks. It's 0-2 on Hitchcock, and he hits a little pop fly over to Rizzuto at short for the first out. And here comes Mickey Harris. Billy Goodman is going to pinch hit for him, and it's about time. Here's Goodman, and they're hitting .385, good pinch hitter, and he fouls another one off. 0-2 now the count, 1-2 now on him. And that one's popped up over to the right side, and Henrik dives for it, just can't get it, and that falls foul. 1-2 still. There's a little ground ball over to the third base side. Lopez is going to grab it. He throws to first base and just gets him for the second out. And here comes Dom DiMaggio. DiMaggio not getting any base hits so far in this one. 0-2 now. The count is on Dom. And he hits one over to left field. Woodling's got it for the out. And DiMaggio's 12-game hitting streak may be coming to an end here. Tommy Henrik, old reliable, comes up here bottom of the 8th inning. Let's see if he can get a hold of one. Wendy McCall will face him. There's a strike to Henrik, 0-1 the count, and there's a swing and a miss, 0-2 now on Tommy. He pops that one back and just out of play. And there's a fastball right near the belt bucket. We'll call the ball, 1-2 now the count. It takes outside for a ball, 2-2 now. There's a little liner to shallow right field in front of O'Brien for a hit, only the 3rd hit for the Yankees in this one, and that brings up Cliff Mapes. And what are we going to do? We're going to swing away with Mapes. We're going to call it a hit and run. Let's call it a hit and run. Boston looking for the bunt, but we're going to hit and run. And, of course, Mapes swings and misses on that. But luckily, fortunately for Mapes, Henrik is able to get in there with the stolen base. And that is, it doesn't never tell you how many stolen bases it is. That's stolen base number 2 in the season for Tommy Henrik against 2 stolen bases and 2 caught stealing in real life. No caught stealing here in Diamond Mine. And that probably will show you just how aggressive I am when it comes to base stealing. Mapes still up there. We're going to have him swing away. 1-1 now the count as they have the corners in. Given how Mapes has been hitting this season, I don't know why they would do that, why they wouldn't guard the lines. 1-1 the count now is 2-1 as that one misses inside, and there's one that misses high. We're going to have Mapes take here. There's a strike called at the knees. Full count now on Cliff. There's a breaking ball that's wide, and he walks him, and that brings up Gene Woodling now. Nobody out. Question is, do we swing away with Woodling or do we bunt? The infield is still into the corners, and I think we swing away because the double play doesn't kill us. There's a strike to Woodling. 0-1 the count now on Gene. There's one high, and it's 1-1. And fastball inside, 2-1 now on Woodling. And there's one smashed to the gap in right center field, and that was the right call. And that scores Henrik. Mapes goes to third base, and here comes Jerry Coleman. 2-0 Yankees. And the Yankees really have something going here. We're going to do a little hit and run here with Coleman. Earl Johnson, the new pitcher in there. And there is one that hits the bag inside first base and goes over everybody's head for a double for Coleman, scores 2. And that's one of those kind of crazy plays, isn't it? And Coleman's hitting streak now is up to 11, and he looks over at Dom DiMaggio with a big grin on his face, and that brings up Hank Bauer, 4-0 Yankees. This one has opened wide up. And there's one that's deep to left center field over Dom DiMaggio's head. He hit it to the deep part of the ballpark, and that is gone for Hank Bauer. Hank Bauer with home run, I believe, number 5 of the season. That is number 5 for Bauer. And that is going to spell the end of this one. 6-0 Yankees. And here's Yogi Berra, and he takes the ball up and in. 1-0 now the count. And he pulls one deep to right field, but O'Brien's just there in time to make the catch for the out. 1 away. Bobby Brown now takes a ball off the plate. There's one shoulder high. 2-0 the count on Bobby. There's a strike in the zone. 2-1 now. That was inside. 3-1. And that's inside and hits the zone. Full count now. There's a little ground ball over to Pesky at third base. Makes the play at first for the out. 2 away. And here is Eddie Lopat. And the home crowd will stand and applaud as they are happy with the performance that Lopat has made today. And I think I've mentioned this when it's happened before, but whenever I see that sort of play-by-play, it always kind of makes me smile because it shows that the game's kind of aware of how you're playing. Diamond Line Baseball, for all of its problems, does have pretty nice moments like that. 1-1 the count now on Lopat and takes a strike. 1-2. 2-2 now. And there's a ground ball over to the right side, and that's a base hit for him. So Lopat gets his second base hit of the game. Not bad for the pitcher. Here's Scooter. There's the ball to him. 1-0 the count. And takes a strike. 1-1. That's fouled back. 1-2 now. And inside, 2-2. And that's blooped down the left field line. Lopat gets all the way to third base. That brings up Tommy Henrich now with 2 outs, runners on first and third. The Yankees can add more. There's one outside on him. And another one inside, 2-0 the count. That's lined as a base hit into left field, and that will score 1. We're going to play it safe with Rizzuto. There's no need to get him over to third base. And Chuck Stobbs is coming into this one. Boy, didn't we just have Stobbs the other day? We did. I've been using Stobbs mostly as a starter, and apparently the computer thinks that it's okay to just use him as a reliever here as well. I mean, that was actually yesterday, or I should say April 30th game, the game that we showed you on video a couple of days ago. And, I mean, he didn't last long as a starter, so they're going to use him the next day as a reliever. I mean, I guess here's Cliff Mapes, and the Yankees, of course, have batted around. And there's a 1-1 count now on Cliff, and there's a swing and a shot up the middle, and that could score 1, but we're going to play it safe here. We'll let these bases be loaded, and here comes Gene Woodling. And there's a swing and a miss on a strike, and then there's one low, 1-1 the count. That's fouled back, 1-2. That one's lined to center field, dropping, and Dom DiMaggio gets there and makes the catch, and that does it. 6 runs in that inning for the Yankees. 10 hits now in the ballgame for the Yankees, and the Red Sox need a better bullpen, but I'm going to be honest with you. I've said this a lot before. I'll say it again. We need better bullpen management from this computer because that's not good bullpen management at all. Ted Williams up there takes the ball. There's one bounced over to the left side, and Scooter Rizzuto's got it, and he throws to first base. Henrich makes a good play on it, and that's the first out. Vern Stevens now takes the ball, and then a strike. 1-1 the count now on Stevens, and that one's low, 2-1 on him. And there's a breaking ball inside, 3-1 the count, and there's a little ground ball off the mound, goes into center field for the base hit, and that brings up Johnny Pesky, first hit of the game for Stevens. And the big Red Sox starters have not been hitting very well at all. 0-2 the count on Pesky, who also has no hits. Still 0-2 on him. And there's a breaking ball, and that one ends up dropping around Pesky's feet, and that was a wild pitch by Lopat, and it was 1-2 now the count. And there's an unbelievable catch in foul territory by Bobby Brown. Kind of wish I'd have a little more description on that, but we'll take it. And here comes Birdie Tebbets. Why are you pinch hitting Birdie Tebbets? He's tired today. Anyway, we'll see what happens. 2-0 now the count on Birdie. There's one that's down in 3-0 now, and 4 straight balls, and Tebbets is on, but it doesn't do you much good because he's a slow runner. Matt Batts comes up there now, 0-7 in this series, and 0-2 is the count on Batts. And there's one high, 1-2 now on Matt, and still 1-2, and there's one hit to the alley there in right center field, and it's Mapes who goes back and gets that one, and that does it. And there's your ball game. Yankees were going to win a real tight one, but they decided to add 6 more in the bottom of the 8th inning. 7-0, easy win for New York. And we'll see what happens in the Cleveland game today. But if Cleveland loses, I think the Yankees move into first place. Hope you enjoyed that. If you did, as always, we'll be back for more tomorrow. And let me know what you think, as always, in the comments. And I'll talk to you tomorrow. Bye-bye.